If your garden soil still turns hard after rain or dries out too fast even though you've been adding leaf mold every year, you're probably making the same mistake thousands of gardeners make. Leaf mold isn't ruining your soil, but the way most people use it certainly can. That mistake creates shallow roots, poor drainage, inconsistent moisture, and harvests that never match the effort you're putting into your garden. I discovered this after comparing several raised beds that looked almost identical on the surface but behaved completely differently underneath. That's why I now check the root zone with a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter instead of trusting appearances. More than once, it revealed that soil covered with beautiful leaf mold was staying overly wet several inches down while the surface looked dry. I use the soil moisture meter for plants, 12-zone wireless plant water meter, soil thermometer, and light sensor, 4-in-1 TDR tester, and I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It helps eliminate guesswork that can quietly damage root health. If you're serious about growing healthier vegetables through better soil, subscribe because the biggest lesson comes later, and it's something most gardening books barely mention. Here's where leaf mold starts getting blamed unfairly. Leaf mold is one of the best organic materials you can make. It's fantastic at improving moisture retention, encouraging fungal activity, and loosening heavy soil. The problem isn't the leaf mold itself. The problem is expecting it to do a job it was never designed to do. Many gardeners spread 2 or 3 inches of leaf mold every year and assume they're recreating a forest floor. They aren't. A forest floor isn't built from leaves alone. It's built from leaves, decomposing roots, bark, branches, fungi, insects, minerals, and decades of biological activity. Remove any of those pieces and you lose part of the system that creates stable, crumbly soil. I learned this after one simple experiment. Several seasons ago I built 2 nearly identical raised beds. Both received compost, irrigation, and the same vegetable varieties. One bed was amended heavily with leaf mold alone. The second received leaf mold plus shredded hardwood mulch and small woody materials mixed lightly into the top few inches. By the second growing season, the difference was obvious. The leaf mold only bed felt soft at first, but after repeated watering it settled more quickly and developed areas that stayed wetter than I expected. The second bed remained open, crumbly, and easier to work even after heavy rain. Tomatoes rooted deeper, peppers handled hot weather better, and watering became less frequent. That wasn't because I added more organic matter. It was because I added different kinds of organic matter. Soil texture depends on diversity, not volume. Healthy soil contains large pores for drainage, tiny pores for water storage, fungal networks that bind particles together, and stable organic carbon that doesn't disappear after one season. Leaf mold mainly contributes moisture holding capacity. Woody materials contribute long-term structure. Finished compost feeds microbes quickly. Living roots constantly rebuild the soil from below. When those pieces work together, the soil develops the crumbly texture gardeners spend years trying to create. There's another mistake that quietly destroys good soil. Overworking it. Every time we aggressively till soil that's beginning to develop fungal networks, we break apart the very structure we're trying to build. These days I rarely disturb established beds. Instead, I top dress with about an inch of compost, apply 1 to 2 inches of shredded leaves, then cover that with coarsewood mulch. Earthworms, fungi, and rainfall gradually incorporate everything without destroying soil aggregates. The improvement isn't immediate. It's cumulative. This works just as well outside traditional gardens. In containers, I replace large wood chips with fine pine bark because it decomposes slowly while maintaining air spaces around the roots. Mixed with compost and leaf mold, it creates a growing medium that stays productive much longer. Even hydroponic growers can benefit from understanding this principle. Although there's no soil involved, healthy roots still rely on balanced moisture, oxygen, and beneficial microbial activity. The biology changes, but the root requirements don't. Here's the habit forests practice every single day. They never leave the soil bare. Whether it's leaves, twigs, bark, or living plants, something is always protecting the surface. Bare soil heats faster, dries faster, loses microbial activity, and breaks down structurally after repeated rain. Keeping the surface covered doesn't just reduce weeds, it protects the entire biological system underneath. That's one reason older gardens often outperform newer ones. They're not simply richer. They're biologically more complete. Leaf mold deserves a place in every serious garden, but it should never work alone. Combine it with compost, slow decomposing woody materials, living roots whenever possible, and minimal soil disturbance. That's how you build the kind of texture that drains well, holds moisture, supports earthworms, and produces healthier vegetables year after year. The goal isn't to copy the appearance of a forest floor. The goal is to copy the processes that built it. Once you understand that difference, your soil starts improving in ways that bags of compost alone can never achieve. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Farm Logic for more practical gardening lessons rooted in real soil science and hands-on growing experience. Share this video with another gardener who's trying to build healthier soil, and I'll see you in the next one.